the students were working under lines, rays, and angles, and I told them, you have all interrupted this lesson 122 times. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sanchez, and I'm a 4th grade teacher in South Florida. So today is Thursday, or like I like to refer to, Friday Eve, January 24, 2019. And I'm getting ready to let the kids in. But first, I want to show you some prep that I did this morning for one of the math activities that the students are going to do today, because today we start a new chapter, chapter 10. So we are going right into our measurement and geometry section of our Go Math textbook. And this is what the students are going to be working on today. So I have previously shown this in my vlog last week, which is my teacher planning day, what I do on a teacher planning day. And I also posted one similar to this on my Instagram, but this one is different because I added 4 columns so that I can include these 3 different lines in one place with the other different aspects of lines, rays, and angles. So the students are going to be working on that. They're going to pick a color construction paper, and these are 9 by 12. And then I have all the toothpicks here. Each student is going to get about 14 toothpicks so that they can make all these different lines and angles. And here is painter's tape, which they're going to use to make the little triangles for each line. And we have dots so that those can be the points on the line segments and the angles and the ray, etc. So that is what we're going to be working on today, and this is how I prepped everything for this morning. All right, so now I'm gonna let the kids in, get our day started, and I'll check back with you later.
And put it in her pocket.
Brad.
No, just a little yellow basket.
2 o'clock, we're looking at an acute angle. Acute angles are less than 90 degrees.
Well, all I gotta say, an angle is the space between 2 rays.
It's the end of the day now, and from the previous clips that you saw, the students were working under lines, rays, and angles activity that I kind of showed last week. I mentioned this earlier in the vlog, and you saw that they were doing a great job. We didn't finish. We almost finished. We are missing one more, which is intersecting lines, but overall, they're doing a great job, and I can't wait to showcase their work on this board. The kids were so excited to do this activity that they were asking me, Miss Sanchez, can we take this home? I go, well, first we're gonna display it, and when they come down, then you can take it home. But they love putting all the toothpicks together with the tape and the dots and manipulating the angles and the rays and the dots and all that stuff. So I really like it. Before we did that, we did a kinesthetic activity, which is something that I have done in the past before when I used to teach math 2 years ago. And some of my followers on Instagram were commenting that they do the same thing in the comments of that post. And basically, I had them stand up and we did the whole brain teaching of mirrors. And they had to copy what I was doing, which is dot for fist, fist for dot. And then we did our hands on either side with our palms open for line. We closed our fists on either side for line segment. We then showed angle and acute and obtuse and right. We did parallel lines with our 2 hands, one on top of the other. We stood like a T for perpendicular lines. And we did ray by holding one hand in a fist and the other hand open to show a ray. So we did all those things, and I had them watch a video on angles on BrainPOP and another video on Flocabulary on angles as well, which you saw a clip of. And that's what we did for the end of the day. I was going to end the activity, but honestly, I didn't want to have to collect all the materials and then pass it out again tomorrow. So I didn't get to my social studies today. This activity does require about 2 hours to get done from start to finish. So if you want to do this activity in your classroom, just be cognizant of the fact that it's going to take you a bit. And basically, it's almost done. It's a good introduction to Chapter 10. This reviews Chapter 10, Lesson 1 and 3 in our Go Math. Lesson 2 is to classify triangles, which we will go over tomorrow once we finish that paper. All right. Other than that, we were talking about Ella Fitzgerald today, as you saw a clip of. So we were doing a FSA writing type of essay, but I was doing a guided essay with them, trying to model all the different parts that I want them to make sure they do during the 2 hours that they have to take the test. I had them watch a little clip of Ella Fitzgerald actually singing some of her songs. I showed a clip in the video. I also showed another clip in color, not black and white, but in color of her singing with Frank Sinatra. And they absolutely loved learning about her. And as we were doing all the tips and strategies that I wanted them to learn, a lot of them started to see how it made sense and how it would make planning their essay a lot easier once they get there. And then we started reading about Abraham Lincoln. We didn't quite finish the story. We'll finish it tomorrow. Then they will take the selection test for that story. And we also have a spelling test tomorrow. So that's basically what we've done today. Let me show you my example of the angles. And then let me show you a little bit more about the Ella Fitzgerald writing. All right, so here is my example that I was doing along with them. And we didn't get to intersecting lines, which is going to be tomorrow. But that's basically my example. And all over their desk is all of their papers. I just told them to leave all the materials on their desk so that as soon as they come in tomorrow, we get to finish it up. And yep, my nail polish came off my fingernail again. I'm not going to redo the whole thing. I'm just going to redo that one tonight so that I don't have to redo the whole manicure. Now let me show you the Ella Fitzgerald writing. This is another writing practice assessment that has 2 sources, and these both go over Ella Fitzgerald and how she was a famous jazz singer. And the first thing I had the kids do was read the prompt, and we unwrap the prompt. And the way that I teach my students to unwrap the prompt is with APT 1, 2, 3. APT, as easy as 1, 2, 3. So 1 is we circle the essay keyword that tells us what kind of essay we're writing. 2, the underline the topic. So this one is explain why Ella Fitzgerald is important to the history of jazz. And 3 is to say whether it's a 1-part or a 2-part prompt. This one happens to be a 1-part prompt. From that, we can then determine an APT. A is for audience, who we're writing to. So since it doesn't say who, I tell them immediately it's just a teacher by default. P is the purpose, which is connected to what I circled. So if it's informative, my purpose is to inform. T is for task, which is connected to what I underline as my topic, and I have the students write it in the form of a question. Why is Ella Fitzgerald important to the history of jazz? This was important because as we read the sources and we were trying to find annotations or selective underlining to help us with our essay, we kept going back to that task. So then I read the passages with them, and first we read the passages just to take it all in, and then we did a close read of the passages, a second read. And in the second read, we stopped after each paragraph and asked, is there anything in this paragraph that helps us answer the question in our prompt for the task of why Ella Fitzgerald was important to the history of jazz? So that's what we went ahead and underlined. And I told them, whatever you underline, be selective. Do not underline whole paragraphs. But whatever you underline, you also have to have an annotation. So that's why we have all these annotations on the margin so that the students know what they need to gather information to help them write their essay and respond to the task. We got through the first source, and tomorrow we'll finish by getting the selective underlining and annotations for this source too. Once they do that, I will guide the students to gather their evidence on the line side of the planning sheet, and then on the back, on the blank side, they can then create their plan, which we usually use the spaceship, so that they can go ahead and formulate how they're going to answer this task. So that's basically what we did for writing. All right, there you have it. That's what we ended up doing today. And also we ended up using my stop and go signs throughout the day. My student teacher was super helpful in walking around and passing out go signs to the students that were doing a great job, and the students that needed to be cognizant of the fact that they were not making good choices, they received a stop sign. Now, I'm in the process of changing my stop and go signs. Let me show you the signs right now. So these are my stop and go signs. I'm going to change my go sign so that instead of saying making smart choices, it says keep making great choices. And instead of the go sign being an octagon, I'm going to make it into a circle. And then I'm going to add an extra sign for a warning, which will be like a little caution sign that looks like a rounded triangle. And that one is going to say warning. And once I make it, I will show you. But she was passing these out today, and it was so great to have her help in doing that. At the end of the day, the students that kept their Go sign turned them in to me, and then I immediately went on Dojo and gave those students 5 points for outstanding behavior. So that's what happened today, and I can't wait to continue on tomorrow with the Stop and Go signs, and hopefully by tomorrow I can have the new sign made. I also still have my spinning wheel for prizes. I have not put that one together yet. Maybe tomorrow I can go ahead and start working on that one so I can show you the progress of that, and I'm looking forward to that. All right, so stick around and I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, January 25th, 2019. It is early in the morning. I got into my classroom around 7:30. It is now 7:45. I've been doing a couple things here and there. Very excited. It's Friday. Yay. And I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts that I got from Target. And I actually got it on the clearance section. And it is a NASA shirt that has Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh, and Vincent van Gogh is one of my favorite painters, and Starry Night is one of my favorite paintings of all time. So I love the shirt very much. Plus, it's my favorite color as well. Anyway, I'm very excited for today and spending time with the kiddos and learning. So I am also going to try to start setting up the spinning wheel that I mentioned in my vlog earlier this week that I posted separately. And also, I wanted to tell you an update of what happened with the little clicker counter. I used it on Tuesday, and I realized as I was editing the first part of this week's vlog that I didn't let you know how that went. So I started clicking away without them knowing. I did it for a whole hour, and I told them, you have all interrupted this lesson 122 times. They were like, whoa. And I said, I challenge you, because I know you could do better. I challenge you to go ahead and bring that down to maybe less than 10 in the next half hour. Now, they didn't quite make it to less than 10, but you know what? They improved. They went from 122 interruptions in 1 hour, which half of that is 61, right? They went from that to interrupting 23 times. So that's an improvement. I'm going to continue to use that method. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out Fernanda from That One Happy Classroom, her vlog. I'll link it down below. She talks about it. And also check out my vlog from the first part of this week. All right, so let me continue to get things ready for today, and I will see you later. Hello everyone, I'm coming to you now at the end of the day. I did show you some clips of an activity that the students did at the end of the day for social studies. We have been behind in social studies, I'm just being honest with y'all. We have been behind in social studies for a while now. So I wanted to find a way so that we can kind of try to catch up so that we are where we're supposed to be on the pacing guide. Also because Ms. Guzman is taking over social studies next week, and I want her to be able to be teaching whatever the pacing guide says to be teaching next week. So I decided to break into groups the different chapters that we haven't gotten to yet, and the students were assigned one of those chapters. There's 5 chapters in total, and they have to do a jigsaw activity. So they got all the chapters assigned to them. Then within their groups, they assigned each other. I let them all do it on their own. They assigned each other different sections for them to read. And I gave them a giant posted chartboard paper thingamajiggy that has the sticky part on the top. And I folded it into the parts that they each had to work on, so that they all could create a section on their poster board that talked about that part of the chapter, and that they can then use that as a visual to teach the rest of the class about what that chapter was about. So that was the clip that I showed you. They did not finish because we were doing that at the end of the day after recess, I know. And they will continue that on Monday. I'm going to give them an hour on Monday to get it done, and they have to be done within that hour. And then they're going to present on Tuesday. Each team will have about 6 minutes to present that chapter and teach the rest of the class the gist of what that chapter was about. To kind of guide the students and give them an idea of what I wanted them to do, I started doing an example on the board from chapter 1, which we extensively went over. So let me show you what I created. this is the one that I was starting to do for them so that they can see an example of something they could do. And I showed them how they could label each box by the section that each box was about. And I want to show you, I got this information from the book itself. So this is section 1.2 that it talks about all the economists. This is section 1.3 that talks about the geographers. And I use that information to then create maybe a picture with maybe a sentence or some notes about what that section was about. Ultimately, I will finish doing the whole thing so that the students can see what a finished product looks like so that they can use it as a sample of an idea that they could do on their own poster. So that's basically the activity that they were engaged in today for social studies. I wanted something to be fun and that they could work together and learn from each other. So the jigsaw puzzle is a really good quiz strategy that I like to use from time to time. And each team got a sheet that had the chapter title and the different sections that they needed to focus in on each box that they were assigned to. All right, so that's basically what we did in social studies. For reading, we were going over Abe's Honest Words. They did their selection test. They did a spelling test. We continued doing annotations for Ella Fitzgerald for the second passage. So let me show you those annotations now. So these were the annotations for the first source. And now these are the annotations for the second source. And now on Monday, we're going to go ahead and gather our evidence to help us address the prompt topic and the task and create a plan. Then I'm going to give them 45 minutes to write their essay, and I'm going to then score their essay and use that essay for mini lessons. I'm going to make sure that I link this passage set down in the description box below if this is something that you like to do with your students. I noticed last night that it is available online because my district did make it available publicly on the website. So I'll link it down below if you're interested in using this passage set to use with your students. And we also ended up finishing our lines, rays, and angles math activity. So I do have to put them up on our math bulletin board, but it's actually really late right now. It is past 4 o'clock. It's almost 5 o'clock, I think. It's like 4:40 something. So I want to get home. I don't want to stay too late. So I will put those up on Monday morning before the kids come in so that we have something on our math bulletin board. And today we were going over classifying triangles, and that was great because the book has them learn how to classify triangles by their angles, whether it's a right triangle, an acute triangle, or an obtuse triangle. But the FSA also has them classify triangles by isosceles, equilateral, and scalene. So we went over that, and I had them practice that, and I started checking their work, and they're starting to get the concepts. So that's where we are in math. That's what we've been doing today. It's been a good day. I have not been able to put together the spinning wheel for the Wheel of Fortune prizes that I learned earlier this week that I talked about in my first vlog from this week, but it's going to get done hopefully next week. I hope so. Next week, we have Take Your Child to Work Day on Friday. Our district doesn't do it the regular day when it's supposed to be done, which is I believe sometime in May or April, because we're doing a lot of testing during that time. So we actually changed the date to an earlier date before we start testing. That'll be next Friday. So even though next week is a 5-day school week, it'll kind of be a short week because we'll be doing instruction for the whole entire class from Monday through Thursday. And Ms. Guzman also takes over the class. She's going to be doing 2 different lessons in social studies and 1 lesson in math. So that's exciting. All right, so that's where I'm going to leave you for today. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this 2-day vlog. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile.
Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.